Press any button to start. Indy clearance delivery Allegiant Air 112 Tree IFR to Orlando ready to copy.
Allegiant Air 112 Tree is cleared to Orlando Airport as filed. Takeoff runway 5 left climb and maintain 11,000 feet. Departure frequency is 119.05 squawk 5671.
Allegiant Air 112 Tree cleared to Orlando Airport is filed. Takeoff runway 5 left climb and maintain 11,000 feet. Departure on 119.05 squawk 5671.
Allegiant Air 112 Tree, read back correct. Contact ground on 121.9. Good day.
Indy ground Allegiant Air 112 Tree requesting pushback.
Indy ground Allegiant Air 112 Tree, no pushback tug is available to answer your request.
Indy ground Allegiant Air 112 Tree with whiskey ready to taxi IFR.
Allegiant Air 112 Tree taxi to and hold short of runway 5 left via taxiway Echo, cross runway 2 Tree right, Bravo cross runway 2 Tree right Foxtrot. Contact tower on 120.9 when ready.
Taxi to and hold short runway 5 left via taxiway Echo cross runway 2 Tree right Bravo cross runway 2 Tree right Foxtrot Allegiant Air 112 Tree. Indy Tower Allegiant Air 112 tree ready for departure runway 5 left IFR to Orlando.
Allegiant Air 112 tree altimeter tree 0.0 tree wind 09 or 5 at 4. Cleared for takeoff runway 5 left.
Cleared for takeoff runway 5 left Allegiant Air 112 tree.
Generic 85 tree leaving my airspace frequency change approved. Indy Tower generic November 1885 tree frequency change. Allegiant Air 112 tree contact Indianapolis departure on 119.05. Good day.
119.05 Allegiant Air 112 tree. Goodbye. Indianapolis departure Allegiant Air 112 tree is passing 1,600 feet climbing 11,000 feet.
Allegiant Air 112 tree Indianapolis departure altimeter tree 0.0 tree radar contact. Continue to L1N. Generic 85 tree contact Indianapolis approach on 127.15. Good day. One 27.15 generic 85 tree. Goodbye. Allegiant Air 112 tree climb and maintain 17,000 feet.
Climb and maintain 17,000 feet Allegiant Air 112 tree.
Allegiant Air 112 tree, contact Indianapolis Center on 119.55. Good day.
119.55 Allegiant Air 112 tree. Goodbye. Indianapolis Center Allegiant Air 112 tree is at 10,400 feet climbing 17,000 feet.
Allegiant Air 112 tree, Indianapolis Center altimeter tree 0.04 radar contact. Continue to LORNN. Indianapolis Center, generic November, tree 1466 flight level 240. Generic November tree 1466 Indianapolis Center, radar contact, continue. Allegiant Air 112 tree climb and maintain flight level 270.
Climb and maintain flight level 270 Allegiant Air 112 tree.
Allegiant Air 112 tree, contact Indianapolis Center on 124.775. Good day.
124.775 Allegiant Air 112 tree. Goodbye.
Descend and maintain 5,000 feet. Expect vectors. Visual runway 14 approach generic 29er Echo.
Indianapolis Center Allegiant Air 112 tree is at flight level 185 climbing flight level 270.
Allegiant Air 112 tree, Indianapolis Center, radar contact. Continue to LORNN. Generic 24 Alpha contact Cincinnati approach on 119.7. Good day. Going to 119.7 generic 24 Alpha. Indianapolis Center, generic November 5487 Whiskey 9,100 feet. Generic November 5487 Whiskey Indianapolis Center altimeter tree 0.04 radar contact, continue. Generic 71 Delta, you are 46 miles southeast. Descend and maintain 10,000 feet. Expect vectors, visual runway 1 tree approach. Generic 87 Whiskey contact Cincinnati approach on 123.875. Good day. Allegiant Air 112 tree climb and maintain flight level tree 50.
Climb and maintain flight level tree 50 Allegiant Air 112 tree.
Tree decimal 875, generic 87 whiskey. Goodbye. Indianapolis Center, generic November 4765 Quebec, 5,100 feet. Generic November 4765 Quebec, Indianapolis Center, altimeter tree 0.02 radar contact, continue. Indianapolis Center, Airbus November 8474 Echo flight, level tree 0. Airbus November 8474 Echo, Indianapolis Center, radar contact, continue to Tusky. Generic tree 0 uniform traffic is 12 o'clock 3 miles at 5,000 feet generic. Report them in sight. Generic 29er Echo traffic is 2 o'clock 3 miles at 6,000 feet generic. Report them in sight. Generic tree 0 uniform have the traffic. Generic 29er Echo have the traffic. Generic Kilo Romeo Romeo, contact approach on 120.75. Good day. .75 generic Kilo Romeo Romeo. Goodbye. Generic 6 tree, 2 contact Indianapolis Center on 128 decimal tree. Good day. Generic Niner 0 Tango climb and maintain flight level 260. Going to 128 decimal tree, generic 6 tree 2. Climb and maintain flight level 260 generic Niner 0 Tango. Allegiant Air 112 tree climb and maintain flight level tree 90.
Climb and maintain flight level tree 90 Allegiant Air 112 tree.
Quebec, contact Indianapolis Center on 123.925. Good day. Going to 123.925 generic 65 Quebec. Airbus 74 Echo, you are 400 feet above your assigned altitude. Descend and maintain flight level 330. Generic 29er Echo, contact approach on 132.075. Good day. Descend and maintain flight level 330 Airbus 74 Echo. One tree, 2.075 generic 29er Echo. Goodbye. Indianapolis Center, generic November 8820 Kilo, 5,000 feet. Generic November 8820 Kilo, Indianapolis Center, altimeter 30.03 radar contact, continue. Allegiant Air 112 contact Indianapolis Center on 124.625. Good day.
124.625 Allegiant Air 112 Goodbye. Indianapolis Center Allegiant Air 112 is passing flight level 385 climbing flight level 390.
Allegiant Air 112 Indianapolis Center radar contact. Continue to LRNN. Allegiant Air 112 contact Indianapolis Center on 121.175. Good day.
Going to 121.175 Allegiant Air 112 Indianapolis Center Allegiant Air 112 flight level 390.
Allegiant Air 112 Tree, Indianapolis Center, radar contact. Continue to LORNN. Indianapolis Center, generic November 25456, flight level 320. Generic November 25456, Indianapolis Center, radar contact. Continue to Lima, India Tango. Indianapolis Center, generic November 14272, 9,100 feet. Generic November 14272, Indianapolis Center, altimeter 30.02, radar contact, continue. Generic Niner 7 Quebec, contact Indianapolis Center on 124.625. Good day. One 124.625, generic Niner 7 Quebec. Goodbye. Indianapolis Center, Airbus November 7260 Sierra flight level 260. Airbus November 7260 Sierra, Indianapolis Center, radar contact. Continue to Papa X-ray Victor. Center, generic November 117 tree 8 is at flight level tree 25 descending flight level 230. Generic November 117 tree 8 Indianapolis Center, radar contact, continue. Allegiant Air 112 tree contact Indianapolis Center on 121 decimal tree 25. Good day.
121 decimal tree 25 Allegiant Air 112 tree. Goodbye. Indianapolis Center Allegiant Air 112 tree flight level tree 90.
Allegiant Air 112 tree Indianapolis Center, radar contact, continue to LORNN. Generic 40 Delta, you are 58 miles northwest. Descend and maintain 9,000 feet, expect vectors visual runway 26 approach. Generic 904 uniform, you are 58 miles northwest. Descend and maintain 9,000 feet, expect vectors visual runway 26 approach. Generic Sierra Mike uniform, descend and maintain flight level tree 0. Descend and maintain 9,000 feet, expect vectors visual runway 26 approach. Generic 40 Delta. Descend and maintain 9,000 feet, expect vectors visual runway 26 approach. Generic 904 uniform. Indianapolis Center, generic November tree 5229 or 10,500 feet. Generic November tree 5229 or Indianapolis Center, altimeter tree 0.04 radar contact, continue. Generic 64 Papa traffic is 10 o'clock 4 miles at 10,500 feet. Generic. Report them in sight. Generic 229er traffic is 12 o'clock 4 miles at 9,500 feet. Generic. Report them in sight. Indianapolis Center, generic November 9er 56 tree Juliet 3,600 feet. Generic November 9er 56 tree Juliet, Indianapolis Center, altimeter tree 0.06 radar contact, continue. Going to 133.6 generic 64 Papa. Indianapolis Center, generic November 011 tree Foxtrot 11,000 feet. Generic November 011 tree Foxtrot, Indianapolis Center, altimeter tree 0.08 radar contact, continue. Generic 257 traffic alert. 4 o'clock less than 1 mile 9,300 feet. Generic. Report them in sight. Generic 257 have the generic in sight. Generic Sierra Mike Uniform, contact Atlanta Center on 133.6. Good day. Going to 133.6 Generic Sierra Mike Uniform. Indianapolis Center, generic November 819er 7 Foxtrot, 17,000 feet. Generic November 819er 7 Foxtrot, Indianapolis Center, altimeter tree 0.05 radar contact, continue. Generic 482, you are 85 miles northwest. Descend and maintain 9,000 feet. Expect vectors visual runway 26 approach. Descend and maintain 9,000 feet. Expect vectors visual runway 26 approach. Generic 482. Generic 9er 1 tree, contact Atlanta Center on 133.6. Good day. One tree 3.6 generic 9er 1 tree. Goodbye. Allegiant Air 112 tree, contact Atlanta Center on 133.6. Good day.
133.6 Allegiant Air 112 tree. Goodbye. Atlanta Center Allegiant Air 112 tree, flight level 390.
Allegiant Air 112 tree, Atlanta Center radar contact. Continue to LORNN. Atlanta Center, generic November 4 tree 65 Victor 8,000 feet. Generic November 4 tree 65 Victor, Atlanta Center, altimeter tree 0.05 radar contact. Continue to Glazer. Airbus 42 Foxtrot, you are 300 feet above your assigned altitude. Descend and maintain flight level 280. Atlanta Center, generic November 4 tree 4829,000 feet. Generic November 4 tree 482, Atlanta Center, altimeter tree 0.06 radar contact. Continue. Generic uniform Papa, you are 75 miles south. Descend and maintain 7,000 feet. Expect ILS runway 5 approach via Lima Victor Tango transition. Clear to Lima Victor Tango. Descend and maintain flight level 280, Airbus 42 Foxtrot. Descend and maintain 7,000 feet. Expect ILS runway 5 approach via Lima Victor Tango transition. Cleared to Lima Victor Tango, generic uniform Papa Papa. Generic Charlie Foxtrot Echo contact Indianapolis Center on 121.25. Good day. Atlanta Center, generic November 19er 429er 7,000 feet. Generic November 19er 429er Atlanta Center altimeter tree 0.07 radar contact continue. Atlanta Center, generic November 59er 46 Alpha 8,600 feet. Generic November 59er 46 Alpha Atlanta Center altimeter tree 0.07 radar contact continue. Going to 121.25 generic Charlie Foxtrot Echo. Allegiant Air 112 tree contact center on 1 tree 4.8. Good day.
1 tree 4.8 Allegiant Air 112 tree. Goodbye. Center Allegiant Air 112 tree flight level tree 90.
Allegiant Air 112 tree center radar contact. Continue to LORNN. Generic 86 Golf traffic alert. 11 o'clock, less than 1 mile, 8,200 feet, Cessna Skyhawk. Report them in sight. Cessna 9er Quebec traffic alert. 7 o'clock, less than 1 mile, 9,300 feet, generic. Report them in sight. Center generic November 659er 5, Bravo flight level tree 80. Generic 18 Foxtrot, contact Atlanta Center on 1 tree 2.05. Good day. Going to 1 tree 2.05, generic 18 Foxtrot. Center generic November 9er, 2 tree, Papa 9,000 feet. Generic November 9er, 2 tree, Papa center altimeter tree 0.07 radar contact, continue. Airbus 15 tree descend and maintain flight level 280. Airbus 68 November, contact Atlanta Center on 1 tree 0.6. Good day. One tree 3.6 Airbus 68 November. Goodbye. Descend and maintain flight level 280 Airbus 153. Allegiant Air 112 tree traffic is 2 o'clock 4 miles at flight level tree 80 generic. Report them in sight.
Allegiant Air 112 tree have the traffic.
Generic 9er 5 Bravo traffic is 2 o'clock 3 miles at flight level tree 90 Airbus A20N. Report them in sight. Generic 9er 5 Bravo traffic in sight. Allegiant Air 112 tree, you are 300 feet below your assigned altitude. Climb and maintain flight level tree 90.
Climb and maintain flight level tree 90 Allegiant Air 112 tree.
Generic 12 Delta descend and maintain flight level 280. flight level 280 generic 12 Delta. Center generic November 0668 Victor flight level 280. Allegiant Air 112 tree, you are 300 feet below your assigned altitude. Climb and maintain flight level 390. Generic November 0668 Victor center radar contact. Continue to Glazer.
Climb and maintain flight level 390 Allegiant Air 112 tree.
Allegiant Air 112 tree, please expedite your climb flight level 390. Center Cessna November 880-049,000 feet. Cessna November 880-04 center altimeter 30.10 radar contact. Continue. Center Cessna November 5, 206 Delta, 7,400 feet. Cessna November 5, 206 Delta, center altimeter 30.08 radar contact. Continue. Allegiant Air 112 tree, please expedite your climb flight level 390. Allegiant Air 112 tree, please expedite your climb flight level 390. Center Generic November 02744 is at flight level 205 climbing flight level 210. Allegiant Air 112 tree contact Atlanta Center on 127.5. Good day. Generic November 02744 Center radar contact. Continue to CCHIP. Generic 27 Zulu contact approach on 128.575. Good day.
Going to 127.5 Allegiant Air 112 tree. Atlanta Center Allegiant Air 112 tree is at flight level tree 85 climbing flight level tree 90.
Allegiant Air 112 tree Atlanta Center radar contact. Continue. Allegiant Air 112 tree, please expedite your climb flight level tree 90. Atlanta Center, generic November 7429 4,300 feet. Cessna 00 Quebec, contact center on 1 tree 4.8. Good day. Generic November 7429 Atlanta Center, altimeter tree 0.09, radar contact, continue. Cessna 970 traffic is 4 o'clock 4 miles at 4,300 feet generic. Report them in sight. Generic 295 traffic is 9 o'clock 4 miles at 6,000 feet Cessna Skyhawk. Report them in sight. Atlanta Center, generic November 02744 is at flight level 210 climbing flight level 210. Allegiant Air 112 tree, please expedite your climb flight level tree 90. Generic November 02744 Atlanta Center radar contact. Continue to CCHIP. Allegiant Air 112 tree contact Atlanta Center on 124.45. Good day.
Going to 124.45 Allegiant Air 112 tree. Atlanta Center Allegiant Air 112 tree is at flight level tree 85 climbing flight level tree 90.
Allegiant Air 112 tree Atlanta Center radar contact. Continue. Allegiant Air 112 tree, please expedite your climb flight level tree 90. Allegiant Air 112 tree, please expedite your climb flight level tree 90. Allegiant Air 112 tree, contact Atlanta Center on 127.5. Good day.
Going to 127.5 Allegiant Air 112 tree. Atlanta Center Allegiant Air 112 tree is passing flight level tree 85 climbing flight level tree 90.
Allegiant Air 112 tree, Atlanta Center radar contact, continue. Generic 77 Foxtrot contact center on 123.95. Good day. Cessna 71 Lima, you are 70 miles northwest. Descend and maintain 9,000 feet. Expect vectors visual runway tree approach. Generic 49er Zulu traffic is 11 o'clock, 4 miles at 7,500 feet Cessna Skyhawk. Report them in sight. Allegiant Air 112 tree, please expedite your climb flight level tree 90. Going to 123.95, generic 77 Foxtrot. Descend and maintain 9,000 feet. Expect vectors visual runway tree approach Cessna 71 Lima. Allegiant Air 112 tree, please expedite your climb flight level tree 90. Generic 295, contact approach on 128.575. Good day. One 128.575, generic 295. Goodbye. Allegiant Air 112 tree, please expedite your climb flight level tree 90. Allegiant Air 112 tree, contact center on 123.95. Good day.
123.95 Allegiant Air 112 tree. Goodbye. Center Allegiant Air 112 tree is at flight level tree 85 climbing flight level tree 90.
Allegiant Air 112 tree, center radar contact, continue. Air 112 tree, please expedite your climb flight level, tree 90. Center Cessna November 079er, 2 Juliet, 4,000 feet. Cessna November 079er, 2 Juliet, center altimeter, tree 0.05 radar contact, continue. Allegiant Air 112 tree, please expedite your climb flight level, tree 90. Allegiant Air 112 tree, please expedite your climb flight level, tree 90. Center generic November 129er 5, 9,200 feet. Generic November 129er 5, center altimeter, tree 0.05 radar contact, continue. Generic 9er 5, contact, Jacksonville Center on 1 tree, 2 decimal tree. Good day. Tree, 2 decimal tree, generic 9er 5. Goodbye. Allegiant Air 112 tree, please expedite your climb flight level, tree 90. Allegiant Air 112 tree, please expedite your climb flight level, tree 90. Allegiant Air 112 tree, please expedite your climb flight level, tree 90. Allegiant Air 112 tree, contact Atlanta Center on 135.55. Good day.
135.55 Allegiant Air 112 tree. Goodbye. Atlanta Center Allegiant Air 112 tree is at flight level tree 85 climbing flight level tree 90.
Allegiant Air 112 tree, Atlanta Center radar contact. Continue to Curly. Allegiant Air 112 tree, please expedite your climb flight level, tree 90. Allegiant Air 112 tree, contact Jacksonville Center on 1 tree 2 decimal tree. Good day.
1 tree 2 decimal tree Allegiant Air 112 tree. Goodbye. Jacksonville Center Allegiant Air 112 tree is passing flight level tree 85 climbing flight level tree 90.
Allegiant Air 112 tree, Jacksonville Center radar contact. Continue to Curly. Allegiant Air 112 tree, please expedite your climb flight level, tree 90. Cessna 46 Mike descend and maintain 5,000 feet. Descend and maintain 5,000 feet, Cessna 46 Mike. Jacksonville Center, generic November 59er, 01 Golf 10,000 feet. Generic November 59er, 01 Golf Jacksonville Center altimeter tree 0.05 radar contact, continue. Cessna 40 tree contact, approach on 124.2. Good day. Allegiant Air 112 tree, please expedite your climb flight level, tree 90. 124.2 Cessna 40 tree. Goodbye. 112 tree, please expedite your climb flight level tree 900. Allegiant Air 112 tree, please expedite your climb flight level tree 900. Allegiant Air 112 tree, please expedite your climb flight level tree 900. Cessna Tree 28, contact Jacksonville Center on 1 tree 2.5. Good day. One tree 2.5, Cessna Tree 28. Goodbye. Allegiant Air 112 tree, please expedite your climb flight level tree 900. Allegiant Air 112 tree, please expedite your climb flight level tree 900. Allegiant Air 112 tree, contact Jacksonville Center on 126.75. Good day.
126.75 Allegiant Air 112 tree. Goodbye. Jacksonville Center Allegiant Air 112 tree is at flight level tree 85 climbing flight level tree 90.
Cessna 96 kilo descend and maintain 5,000 feet. Allegiant Air 112 tree Jacksonville Center radar contact. Continue to SHRKS. Descend and maintain 5,000 feet Cessna 96 kilo. Cessna 9 or 6 kilo traffic is 6 o'clock, 3 miles at 8,500 feet, generic. Report them in sight. Allegiant Air 112 tree, please expedite your climb flight level 390. Allegiant Air 112 tree, please expedite your climb flight level 390. Allegiant Air 112 tree, please expedite your climb flight level 390. Allegiant Air 112 tree, please expedite your climb flight level 390. Allegiant Air 112 tree, contact Jacksonville Center on 1 tree, 2 decimal tree. Good day.
Going to 1 tree 2 decimal tree Allegiant Air 112 tree. Jacksonville Center Allegiant Air 112 tree is passing flight level 385 climbing flight level 390.
Allegiant Air 112 tree, Jacksonville Center, radar contact. Continue to SHRKS. Allegiant Air 112 tree, contact Jacksonville Center on 126.75. Good day.
126.75 Allegiant Air 112 tree. Goodbye. Jacksonville Center Allegiant Air 112 tree is passing flight level 385 climbing flight level 390.
Allegiant Air 112 tree, Jacksonville Center, radar contact. Continue to SHRKS. Airbus 7 tree Romeo, contact Jacksonville Center on 1 tree, 2 decimal tree. Good day. One tree, 2 decimal tree, Airbus 7 tree Romeo. Goodbye. Air 112 tree, please expedite your climb flight level tree 90. Cessna 9er 6 kilo climb and maintain 13,000 feet. Climb and maintain 13,000 feet, Cessna 9er 6 kilo. Cessna 9er 6 kilo climb and maintain flight level 230. Jacksonville Center, generic November 67 tree, 1 Sierra 10,300 feet. Generic November 67 tree, 1 Sierra Jacksonville, center altimeter tree 0.04 radar contact, continue. Allegiant Air 112 tree, please expedite your climb flight level tree 90. Generic tree 1 Sierra contact, Jacksonville approach on 119.0. Good day. .0 generic tree 1 Sierra. Goodbye. Climb and maintain flight level 230 Cessna 9er 6 kilo. Cessna 9er 6 kilo climb and maintain flight level 240. Allegiant Air 112 tree, please expedite your climb flight level tree 90. Climb and maintain flight level 240 Cessna 9er 6 kilo.
Descend and maintain flight level 250 Allegiant Air 112 tree.
Allegiant Air 112 tree, contact Jacksonville Center on 1 tree 4.4. Good day.
1 tree 4 decimal 4 Allegiant Air 112 tree. Goodbye. Jacksonville Center Allegiant Air 112 tree is passing flight level 340, descending flight level 250.
Allegiant Air 112 tree, Jacksonville Center, radar contact. Continue to adore. Generic tree 08, you are... Generic tree 08, you are 53 miles north. Generic tree 08, you are 53 miles northeast. Descend and maintain 6,000 feet. Expect vectors. Visual runway 18 approach. Cessna 85 Romeo, you are tree 2 miles north. Descend and maintain 6,000 feet. Expect vectors. Visual runway 23 approach. Airbus 64 Alpha contact Jacksonville Center on 126.75. Good day. Cessna tree 6 tree contact Jacksonville Center on 133.7. Good day. 126.75 Airbus 64 Alpha. Goodbye. Going to 133.7 Cessna tree 6 tree. Descend and maintain 6,000 feet. Expect vectors. Visual runway 23 approach Cessna 85 Romeo. Allegiant Air 112 tree, you are 500 feet below your assigned altitude. Climb and maintain flight level 250.
Climb and maintain flight level 250 Allegiant Air 112 tree. Allegiant Air 112 tree, please expedite your climb flight level 250. Generic 704 contact Jacksonville Center on 133.25. Good day.
1 tree, tree decimal tree, 25 generic 704. Goodbye. Cessna 85 Romeo descend and maintain 2,100 feet. Allegiant Air 112 tree contact Jacksonville Center on 1 tree 4.0. Good day.
1 tree 4.0 Allegiant Air 112 tree. Goodbye.
Climb and maintain 14,000 feet Cessna 72 Sierra.
Jacksonville Center Allegiant Air 112 tree is at flight level 245 climbing flight level 250.
Cessna 72 Sierra climb and maintain flight level 220. Allegiant Air 112 tree Jacksonville Center radar contact continue. Climb and maintain flight level 220 Cessna 72 Sierra. Cessna 72 Sierra climb and maintain flight level 240. Climb and maintain flight level 240 Cessna 72 Sierra. Cessna 86 Alpha, you are 2 tree miles north. Descend and maintain 7,000 feet. Expect ILS runway 25 approach via Loca transition. Cleared to Loca. Allegiant Air 112 tree, you are 6-7 miles north. Descend and maintain 17,000 feet. Keep speed not above 210 knots. Expect ILS runway 18 right approach via YAGGO transition. Cleared to YAGGO. Cessna 27 Delta descend and maintain 8,100 feet. Cessna 86 Alpha descend and maintain 2,800 feet. Generic 541 descend and maintain 5,000 feet. Allegiant Air 112 tree descend and maintain 5,000 feet. Keep speed not above 210 knots.
Descend and maintain 5,000 feet. Keep speed not above 210 knots. Expect ILS runway 18 right approach via YAGGO transition. Clear to Yago Allegiant Air 112 tree. Maintain present heading and altitude Allegiant Air 112 tree.
One tree 4.05 Cessna 86 Alpha. Goodbye. Jacksonville Center, generic November 4502 tree flight level 270. Generic November 4502 tree Jacksonville Center, radar contact. Continue to Oscar Mike November. Allegiant Air 112 tree descend and maintain 4,000 feet.
Descend and maintain 4,000 feet, Allegiant Air 112 tree.
Allegiant Air 112 tree descend and maintain 3,000 feet.
Descend and maintain 3,000 feet, Allegiant Air 112 tree.
Allegiant Air 112 tree contact approach on 135 decimal tree. Good day.
135 decimal tree, Allegiant Air 112 tree. Goodbye.
Generic 541, contact Miami Center on 124 decimal 1. Good day.
Allegiant Air 112 tree, you are 12 miles north of Orlando. Contact Orlando Tower on 124 decimal tree when inbound.
Tower on 124 decimal tree, Allegiant Air 112 tree. Orlando Tower, Allegiant Air 112 tree, 11 miles north inbound, ILS runway 18 right approach.
Allegiant Air 112 tree, Orlando Tower. Altimeter tree 0.05, wind 186 at 10. Cleared ILS runway 18 right approach.
Cleared ILS runway 18 right approach, Allegiant Air 112 tree.
Cessna 15 to continue for south departure. Orlando Tower Cessna November 11152 to continue for south departure. Cessna 152 leaving my airspace frequency change approved. Orlando Tower Cessna November 11152 frequency change.
$2,500.
Overspeed. 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 Overspeed.
Allegiant Air 112 tree, wind 186 at 10. Clear to land runway 18 right.
Clear to land runway 18 right Allegiant Air 112 tree.
$1,000. 200. 100. 60. 50. 40. 30. 20. Retard 5.
Generic 166, turn next taxiway. Allegiant Air 112 tree exit runway when able. Generic 166, contact ground on 129.65. Allegiant Air 112 tree contact ground on 122.85.
122.85 Allegiant Air 112 tree. Goodbye. .65, generic 166. Goodbye. Orlando Ground Allegiant Air 112 tree request taxi to the gate.
Allegiant Air 112 tree taxi to gate 9er via taxiway Echo Zulu Yankee, cross runway tree 6 right, Bravo 6 Bravo 5.
Taxiing to gate 9er using taxiway Echo Zulu Yankee, cross runway tree 6 right, Bravo 6 Bravo 5 Allegiant Air 112 tree.
Allegiant Air 112 tree, hold position, caution, other traffic.
Hold position Allegiant Air 112 tree.
Allegiant Air 112 tree, continue taxi.
Roger Allegiant Air 112 tree.
Allegiant Air 112 tree, hold position, caution, the departing generic.
Hold position Allegiant Air 112 tree.
Allegiant Air 112 tree, continue taxi.
Roger Allegiant Air 112 tree. Orlando ground Allegiant Air 112 tree, could you please send the baggage?
Allegiant Air 112 tree baggage is on the way.
Orlando ground Allegiant Air 112 tree, could you please connect the jetway to the aircraft?
Allegiant Air 112 tree, the jetway is going to be connected.
Orlando ground Allegiant Air 112 tree, could you please send a ground power unit?
Allegiant Air 112 tree, a ground power unit is on the road.
APU